violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, YouTube? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe. Let's get into the video.
Community unites in grief, calling for an end to gun violence after a 12-year-old boy was shot and killed while sitting in a car.
CBS 2's Corey James reports from East Flatbush, where a rally and vigil was held tonight.
The mother of 12-year-old Kade Lewin, who was gunned down in East Flatbush Thursday, held on tightly to family as her loved ones gave the grieving mom water and guided her to a chair that she sat in during a gathering for her son.
Wow. And you can tell she's just broken, man. We as a community, we got to do better, man. We can't just... This can't be it, man. This can't be it. We got to start calling out these super gremlins. We got to start making it uncomfortable for them to continue to do what they're doing. All right. Like, we need to be strict on everything. And it has to come internally. All right. We can't ask for an outsider to fix this problem. I mean, look at this woman. She can't speak, barely can move, barely can walk, all because of the pain from the loss of her child.
Everybody say Kade Lewin.
The young boy was eating in a car with his 20-year-old cousin and 8-year-old niece when police say there was an exchange of gunfire between people inside two cars on East 56th Street and Linden Boulevard. Shots that Ann Charles heard from her home.
I came out and I see the little kid in the car. It was really heartbreaking for me.
Devastation hitting those who knew.
Wow. And you just sitting in the car in the hood, Brooklyn, which they say that, you know, Brooklyn's supposed to be gentrified, and it ain't the old Brooklyn that it was supposed to be. Okay, so what was the old Brooklyn? Because this type of stuff is still going on, and there are still super gremlins on demon time.
Knew Kade hard. This family friend stopped by the scene Friday after speaking with Kade's mom.
They just kill my son like that.
Elected officials addressing the violence, saying state and local governments need to do more to get illegal guns off the streets.
There's too many guns in our streets.
That's right. Bruh. Jermaine Williams. Blaming the guns, blaming the guns, blaming the guns. There's too many guns in our street. No. There's too many super gremlins on demon time. Like, I'm so sick of them blaming the guns. Dude, I got freaking 3 guns right behind me. My guns ain't they ain't never just got up and shot a 12-year-old boy. Can we start holding these super gremlins accountable who's doing this? Like, it makes me mad. It makes me angry that you're this intellectually dishonest, this disingenuous with a public statement. This woman understands and knows that it is not the gun's fault as to why her child is dead. And you sitting up there talking about it's too many guns on the street. Come on, bruh. Stop it.
We got to stop them from coming in the streets.
There are people in this area selling guns on the corner in their cars.
You want to lecture our community about public safety? Put the damn money in the community.
A community lighting candles while reeling from this tragic death. And as they...
And there's a lot of money going into the community. Or the community, rather, okay? Lots of money. But the thing is, the people who are in charge of these programs, a lot of these people are using it, you know, to get a salary. All right. Like, it just makes no sense.
Put the damn money in the community.
A community lighting candles while reeling from this tragic death. And as they processed the senseless crime, police handed out flyers in hopes of getting people who may know something to speak out, not only for Kade's family, but also neighbors left on edge.
Just too much to bear. Yeah, I have children and I'm so scared.
And authorities say Kade's 20-year-old cousin, who was shot 3 times, is expected to recover. Again, anyone who may have any information about the shooter or shooters should contact police. In East Flatbush, Brooklyn, Corey James, CBS 2 News.
A Brooklyn community tonight demanding an end to gun violence after a 12-year-old boy was shot and killed while sitting in a parked car last night.
CBS 2's Leah Mishkin joins us live from East Flatbush as police look for the shooters. Leah.
Dick, Christine, the street is still blocked off, and now in the daylight you can really see the damage that was done to this car behind me. The windows are blown out. You can see a gunshot in the back of the car, and the mom of the 12-year-old boy who was killed, we were told, works at a hair salon not far from this scene. They were all in disbelief at that shop, so were residents of this neighborhood.
This stuff just really needs to stop.
The NYPD says a 20-year-old woman and 2 children were sitting inside a parked car on East 56th Street and Linden Boulevard Thursday night around 7:45. Police say they were eating when 2 sedans in the area began exchanging gunfire. One of the bullets hit the 12-year-old boy in the car in the head. He died at the scene.
I was shocked, surprised, and hurt.
Longtime East Flat.
I don't get why she was surprised. This is the community. This happens all the time. Like, it really irks me that we're still acting like this is a shocking thing. It's horrible. It's tragic. It's you know, it's wicked. It's demonic. But what we need to understand is that there are a lot of people in the community who are just straight super gremlins on demon time. So it shouldn't be surprising that this continues to occur and repeat after. Like, it's like, what?
Flatbush resident Tatiana Parkin voicing a message many in the community are feeling.
Violence like this, it needs to come to an end. But at the end of the day, stuff like this now is just not stopping, but it needs to stop.
The NYPD says the 20-year-old woman in the parked car was also shot multiple times. We're told she was taken to the hospital in critical but stable condition. Police say there was also an 8-year-old girl in the back seat who was not injured. A family member who did not want to be on camera told us that little girl is the victim's niece, and the woman driving the car is his cousin.
12-year-old we lost sitting here in that car eating. The question I continue to ask, what about the innocent people?
Mayor Eric Adams.
And Mayor Eric Adams, he has had an extremely disappointing first 100 days. All of this is happening under his watch. When he was supposed to be the law and order candidate, in my opinion, he straight turned his back on the community. All right? Until proven otherwise. Because there's got to be more that he can do. But it seems like he just, you know, photo op, he's showing up, but nothing is being done.
Addressed the gun violence at the scene Thursday night.
We're going to catch this shooter, but as long as we have guns and a revolving door system, we're going to continue to come to crime scenes like this.
Wow. As long as we have guns. Dude. Bruh, these guys are a joke. Nobody in any of these clips have held the super gremlin accountable. Nobody has blamed the individual or individuals who pulled that trigger.
It's time for it to stop.
I really feel like we should give more power to the police and make harsher jail sentences.
Okay, shout out to Ahmed. You know what I mean? Shout out to Ahmed. Like, he he's speaking real stuff. He's speaking real stuff. He said we need Taliban-like punishment. You know what I mean? So shout out to him, keeping it real. One guy who wants the super gremlins to be held accountable. We got one.
Give more power to the police and make harsher jail sentences.
A friend of the young boy's family stopped by the area Friday morning in disbelief. He spoke to the 12-year-old's mother earlier today.
They just kill my son like that.
This news hit him hard. He's also a father.
For 12-year-old.
It's still unclear whether the car was targeted or just in the wrong place at the wrong time. The police are asking for the public's help to help solve this case. They say they have an anonymous tip line you can call. It's 1-800-577-TIPS. In East Flatbush, Brooklyn, Leah Mishkin, CBS 2 News.
Leah, thank you.
Tonight, balloons and candles graced the spot where that 12-year-old little boy was shot and killed innocently while sitting in the passenger seat of that car last night.
More balloon releases. Shocking.
Gun violence in this city is getting worse, it seems, by the day, and this community is doing everything in its power to change it. The mother of 12-year-old Kade Lewin could barely walk, less than 24 hours after her son was shot and killed by a drive-by shooter.
Imagine your 12-year-old son is no longer here because someone shot and killed him.
Imagine going to a visual and blaming a gun instead of the super gremlin on demon time.
And as politicians and community activists made the same call to stop the violence as they've done so many times before, this mom who just lost her son bravely sat beside them.
Our kids can't sit in our cars! Our kids can't be outside!
Tonight on the corner of East 50.
And why is that? Let's keep it a buck. Why can't the kids sit in the car? Why can't the kids be outside? Why not?
Kids can't sit in our cars! Our kids can't be outside!
Tonight on the corner of East 56th Street and Linden Boulevard, anti-violence groups pleaded to break the cycle of violence.
Not in my hood! Not in my hood! Not on my block! Not on my block!
12-year-old Kade was...
That's cap. That's cap. Man, look. I don't see anybody really addressing what we got going on.
Was sitting in the passenger seat of a Toyota Camry with two other family members on this corner just before 8 p.m. last night. Police believe the alleged gunman targeted the wrong car when he unloaded as many as 12 rounds in the direction of where the boy was sitting.
Sitting down, eating in the car should not be a death sentence.
The latest incident marked at least the fourth child struck by unintended gunfire this year in the city. A 3-year-old was shot last week.
Oh, well, we got a child shot per month, and that's unintended. Not to mention the people who just shooting their kids in the community. Come on.
In the arm outside a daycare in Brownsville. A 7-year-old was hit in the stomach in Coney Island the week before that. And an 11-month-old baby was struck in the face back in January in the Bronx.
I am a mother, you know, so I feel the same pain that this woman is feeling, and I don't even know her.
But for those who came here tonight, for the ones who held the hands of the mother who just lost her son, they're pleading for help so their babies can grow up in a safe place.
We know we're going to be here again. We know we're going to be here again.
That's facts. That's one thing this brother has said that is true. Yeah, we're going to be here again. But who's going to bring us here, bruh? It's not going to be the guns. It's going to be these super gremlins on demon time.
We just hope that they are not here again, and that's the whole message of tonight. The streets here on Linden Boulevard and 56th.
Hope ain't going to help nothing. Prayers, respect to God Almighty. But that's not going, it's not, actions, policies, managing these programs and funds appropriately instead of just trying to stroke yourself a check.
Street are lit up with neighborhood watch tonight. Police don't have a motive in this shooting, and they still don't know who did this. They're looking for that suspect. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. And you heard Jumaane Williams in that piece, and like he said, if you saw something, say something, and don't be afraid to do it, because you can make that change. We're live tonight in East Flatbush, Brooklyn. Richard Giacobas, Fox 5 News.
I'm here on the corner of MLK and Frederick Douglass, where a shooting just took place. And as you can see, it's a pretty rough area. So I'm basically risking my life reporting on this madness. So make sure you do me a favor and hit the subscribe button. Like the video, hell, share the video. And make sure you go ahead and leave a comment down in the comments section to continue the discussion on how we can find solutions to all this son violence in the streets. I'm Jenquavius Jackson, here live, reporting from Atlanta, Georgia, BGZM News.
In grief, a Brooklyn community is coming together to call for an end to gun violence. It comes after a 12-year-old boy was shot and killed while sitting in a car. CBS 2's Christina Fan is live in East Flatbush, where a rally and vigil were held last night to honor Kade Lewin. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Cindy. The 12-year-old's death is the latest indiscriminate shooting to rock the city. Behind us, you can see candles and balloons left behind from last night's rally, where dozens took to the streets imploring city leaders for help. Kade Lewin's mom could barely stand at her own son's vigil. So grief-stricken, loved ones had to guide her to a chair as advocates called for an end to the violence that claimed her 12-year-old child's life.
Everybody say Kade.
Looking at this woman, man, I cannot stand these super gremlins, bruh. I can't stand them. And these dudes talking about, if you see something, say something. How many of y'all are saying something? How many of y'all are saying something? Because everybody know who the shooters are in the community. Everybody know. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's on Twitter. We know.
Lewin. The young boy was eating in the car with his 20-year-old cousin and 8-year-old niece Thursday when police say people from two cars started exchanging gunfire by East 56th Street and Linden Boulevard. Ann Charles heard the shots from her home.
I came out and I see the little kid in the car. It was really heartbreaking for me.
Devastation hit those who knew Kade hard. This family friend stopped by the scene Friday after speaking with Kade's mom.
They just killed my son like that.
Elected officials showed up at Friday's candlelight vigil, calling on state and local governments to do more to remove illegal guns.
There are people in this area selling guns on the corner in their cars.
You want to lecture our community about public safety? Put the damn money in the community.
The NYPD spent the afternoon handing out flyers, hopeful someone who knows something will speak out, not only for Kade's family, but also for neighbors left on edge.
Just too much to bear. Yeah, I have children and I'm so scared.
Kade's 20-year-old cousin, who was shot multiple times, is expected to recover. If you have any information on the shooter or shooters, you are asked to give the NYPD a call. Reporting live from East Flatbush, Brooklyn, Christina Fan, CBS 2 News.
Christina, thank you.
See you then, Lee. Thank you. A community in Brooklyn tonight shocked by gun violence and the murder of a 12-year-old boy. Tonight they came together, hoping for some comfort, but also to express themselves. Angry over the boy's death last night as he sat in his car eating his dinner. Angry over the gun insanity in New York City and hoping the killer is caught before anyone else is hurt. It is a hope that is citywide. Here's Josh Eininger.
One step at a time. So grief-stricken she could barely walk, a devastated mother returned to the spot where 24 hours earlier her world ended, where she raced in her minivan, summoned by a family member to find her 12-year-old son shot in the head. And 24 hours later,
I said, say Kade Lewin.
Kade Lewin. Elected officials.
That's why we're here.
Were saying his name.
That's why everybody's here.
Just 12 years old.
12 years old. She was telling me how proud she was of him. how many good things the teachers were saying of him. He was
I continue
for a weekend with his friends.
I continue to say that the worst of us are eating, devouring the best of us. Sounds like this kid was a good kid. Like they said, that we don't know if the 20-year-old cousin was targeted. That could have been a situation, maybe mistaken identity. Maybe he was seriously in the thick of some drill rap New York beef type stuff. But when are we going to address this issue, man? It makes no sense.
For a weekend with his friends. And now they have to plan a funeral.
The violence erupted at dusk last night. Kade and an 8-year-old girl were with a 20-year-old relative in her car, stopped at a fire hydrant to eat dinner, when police sources say another car circled the block 3 times as if hunting prey, before someone from that car unleashed a fusillade of bullets. Kade was hit in the head and died on the spot.
Listen to what he said, hunting prey. Animalistic terms. They circled the block 3 times, and maybe it was just random. Maybe they were just looking for somebody who looked like an op. Some of these dudes, some of these super gremlins, they just go out looking to kill, looking to destroy. Man, it's wicked out here, bro. I'm telling you. These super gremlins are on demon time.
The woman at the wheel, critically wounded. The 8-year-old was unhurt.
It was horrific how it happened, and we're piecing together the pieces, and we're going to find the individuals that are involved.
It took almost a day for police to finish processing the scene and tow away the bullet-riddled car.
That mother gotta wake up and not see her son!
And it's just the latest case of indiscriminate violence plaguing the city, even with funding starting to flow to so-called violence interrupter groups, which work to diffuse disagreements before the guns come out.
We can't be in every house. We can't be on every block because we don't have the resources. So if we have a catchment area and it's only 20 blocks, right? I'm
gonna tell you what, right now, if these violence interrupters tried to intervene in a beef that involved a super gremlin or super gremlins with firearms, you're taking that L. You ain't stopping nothing. You ain't interrupting a damn thing.
Particular block right here is in no one's catchment.
If detectives have made any progress in this case, they have not yet said so publicly, as the hunt continues for whoever pulled the trigger so senselessly ending a life that had barely begun.
United in grief, a Brooklyn community is coming together to call for an end to gun violence. It comes after a 12-year-old boy was shot and killed while sitting in a car. CBS 2's Christina Fan is live in East Flatbush, where a rally and vigil were held last night to honor Kade Lewin. Good morning, Christina.
Good morning, Cindy. The 12-year-old's death is the latest indiscriminate shooting to rock the city. Behind us, you can see candles and balloons left behind from last night's rally, where dozens took to the streets imploring city leaders for help. Kade Lewin's mom could barely stand at her own son's vigil.
Then Lee, thank you. A community in Brooklyn tonight shocked by gun violence and the murder of a 12-year-old boy. Tonight they came together, hoping for some comfort, but also to express themselves. Angry over the boy's death last night as he sat in his car eating his dinner. Angry over the gun insanity in New York City, and hoping
the super gremlin insanity, you mean?
The killer is caught before anyone else is hurt. It is a hope that is citywide. Here's Josh Eininger.
One step at a time.
So grief-stricken she could barely walk, a devastated mother returned to the spot where 24 hours earlier her world ended, where she raced in her minivan, summoned by a family member to find her 12-year-old son shot in the head.
The NYPD and Mayor Eric Adams in East Flatbush, where a 12-year-old boy was shot tonight. Let's listen in for the latest details.
Multiple times to his body. He was pronounced deceased on scene. In the rear seat there was an 8-year-old female in the rear portion of the vehicle. She was uninjured. A preliminary investigation reveals that the three pulled over in the car to eat some food when shots were fired that penetrated their vehicle. Investigators right now are following up with numerous 911 callers for more information and are canvassing the area for witnesses and security video. We are asking for the public's help and assistance. We're actually pleading for the public's help and assistance in helping us solve this case. If anyone has any information in relation to this incident, horrific incident, we urge you to call our Crime Stoppers hotline at 1-800-577-TIPS. That's 1-800-577-TIPS. I remind everyone that if you call, you can remain anonymous.
Who thinks that the community is gonna go against the street code and turn these super gremlins in who did this?
Questions?
Chief, two questions. First of all, is there any indication that anyone in that vehicle was being targeted specifically, or were they unintended? And the second question is, there was a report of a vehicle that had been involved in the shooting. Is that legitimate, or are we still just discussing?
I'm going to pass it off to Chief Joe Galata. He's the commanding officer at Detective Bureau, Brooklyn South. But before I do, I just want to let everyone here know, as far as motive, the motive is unknown right now. And as far as if that vehicle was targeted, that's what we're trying to determine right now. But I'll pass it off to Chief Joe Galata to answer any sort of questions that have an investigative connection.
Thank you.
Good evening.
In regards to investigation, we're very early on. I want to make that very clear. As far as what we have and what we're looking for, we have numerous pieces of ballistics on the scene that are going to be processed by crime scene behind us. And we're looking for potentially 2 vehicles, both black sedans, unknown make and model at this time.
Probably stolen cars. And I'm telling you guys right now, these super gremlins look at this stuff like it's fun. Okay? These super gremlins are absolutely smoking on a Kade Lewin pack respectfully. Like, that's the mentality, that's the mindset. No remorse, no feeling of discomfort when they're doing this. They're probably laughing that, oh, we got him. This is the mindset of these super gremlins on demon time.
One that went down 5A Street, East 5A Street, and one that went down Linden Boulevard. Anyone with information regarding these vehicles, we implore you to call 1-800-577-TIPS. Get that information to us. We're going to need the public's help on this. It's a senseless crime. We have a 12-year-old that was killed, and we're going to take all our resources we have to solve this crime, but we're not going to be able to do it without the public's help. So please, I'm going to ask for 2 vehicles. We have 2 black sedans, seen fleeing the vehicle. As we get more, we'll get it out to you. We'll get you to make the models as we get it. But right now, what we have is 2 black sedans.
Chief, can you tell us approximately how many bullets were fired, and does it look like there were multiple gunmen involved here?
It's too early on for us to tell you that, to tell that. Right now, as we process the scene, we'll know. But there was numerous shots fired.
What's the relationship between your mother and the 2 kids?
They're all family.
Okay. Do they live in this area?
They do live in the area, yes.
All right, so we're going to have a statement from the mayor now.
A 12-year-old boy shot dead in East Flatbush. A woman who is injured expected to survive. An 8-year-old uninjured, and police want your help. Call 577-TIPS if you saw anything. We'll be right back.
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
So it is what it is.